I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life when I'm surrounded by boring people, eating boring food, doing the same thing, just being super bored, and I want things to be different and more fun and entertaining. Do something like start a food fight with people. Did you know that the world's biggest food fight is an actual thing? Like it actually exists? Today I'm going to inform you about three festivals that reflect the uniquely beautiful culture of Spain. These festivals are Semana Santa, San Fermin, and La Tomatina. The first event is more of a religious celebration. It happens the week of Easter, and it is called Semana Santa, which means Holy Week. And it is a vibrant celebration with religious origins, with emotion stirring processions that end with the floats going into their respective churches. The men or women that are in these processions are from a brotherhood, and the people that are in charge of carrying the floats and the thrones and the biblical representations are known as costaleros. Then they were followed by the nazarenos, who are dressed in tunics and hoods and masks, and women who are in traditional clothing. And Semana Santa is an integral part of the Spanish culture because it reflects the spirit of the Spanish people. And even if you're not religious, it's hard not to be moved by this festival because of the vital and moving atmosphere. For some, it's a fun-filled fiesta, but for others, it's more for ritual and reflection. And speaking of culture and traditions, the next festival represents the one-of-a-kind beauty of the culture of Spain. It is known to be the best festival in the world. It's called a San Fermin, which is more known for the running of the bulls. However, there's more things that happen during the week and more events. It starts midday, July 6th, every year in Pamplona, Spain, with thousands of people congregating, waiting for the festival to start. And there is an event called El Encierro, which is bull run, and 12 bulls are released into the streets of Pamplona, and with runners in front of them leading them to the bull ring, where later that night they will fight in the arena. There are also people that watch in the streets or on balconies, or people who wait in the arena for the bullfight, and those start at 6:30 p.m. every night during that week. There's approximately 12,500 people that watch this bullfight. Lastly, I'm going to tell you about probably the most unique and the one that represents the fun and exciting atmosphere of Spain. And it's called La Tomatina, and it's simply the world's biggest food fight. It occurs the last Wednesday of August in Bunal, which is a small town in Valencia. According to Claudia Cuscally from Express News in London, this event attracts more than 45,000 people every year. The origins of this event, however, are not really clear. However, the one that most plausibly explains and one that makes most sense occurred in 1945 when some kids were watching this parade and they wanted to be part of it because it involved big figures with big heads, and accidentally one of these kids knocked over one of these people in the costumes with the big heads, and in retaliation, this person got up and started swinging at people, and then one of the kids grabbed the tomato from a nearby stand and started throwing, and eventually all these kids started throwing and throwing and throwing until the police came to break it up. And the next year, these kids came back the same day, same time at this parade and started doing it again and again and again, and eventually the police got tired of trying to ban it, so they just made it an annual thing. Unlike any other food fight, this food fight has rules that must be abided in order to participate. To signal the start of this food fight, somebody has to climb up a greased pole to retrieve a ham from top of it, which then signals the firing of water cannons, which signifies the start of the fight. And the tomatoes must be crushed in your hand before you throw them to prevent injury or from something happening. And then there's absolutely no bottles. It's actually illegal to have bottles in this food fight. to prevent, bodily harm to some people, causing accidents and stuff. So today you have seen the beauty and uniqueness of Spain's culture. And first we looked at Semana Santa, a religious-based festival. Next we saw the thrill and excitement of San Fermin. And lastly, La Tomatina, the world's biggest food fight. I hope that this presentation helped you see the true beauty and distinctness of Spanish culture, and hope that you would want to delve into this more and maybe eventually go and experience one yourself, because I know for me personally, I can't wait for the day in my life when I get to experience the culture by spending a whole week celebrating a risen savior, seeing people being chased by bulls, and throwing tomatoes at people and actually being acceptable. Thank you so much.